Okay, there we go. I can tell by the flickering of the screen. I'm Kevin Brown. I'm the esports program specialist with the Orange County Department of Education and with NASEF. Joining me today.
So my name is Sam Anton, and I am Chief Operating Officer for NASEF. And today I'm happy to be talking to you all about website resources and NASEF things that we have laid out for you all as general managers. But first, before I get started, for those of you that intend on fully activating your club for this academic year, we have launched our tournament opt-ins. So if you actually log on, you will be able to see that we will be offering Rocket League and Overwatch this upcoming fall. And so we do have 2 webinars to kind of walk you through those initial sign-up processes. And that's going to be tomorrow and on Thursday, which it lists both as Wednesday, but August 19th and August 20th will be when those webinars are, and you can go to our event page for the registration links. But as I mentioned, my name is Samantha Anton, and I'm Chief Operating Officer for NASEF, and spend a lot of my role working with clubs, students, and just on any extra things for our programs and our events. And I've been with NASEF since our very beginning, so this is the start of my 3rd year, technically kind of 4th year, working with our program. And so it's been really great to see not only the development of our program, but also how the communities have really shown through during this time, especially. And so for those, because we do open up our office hours to everyone in the community, so for those that aren't aware of who NASEF is, truly we're looking to provide opportunities for all students, regardless of their identities, regardless of the zip codes that they live in, to be able to have the same, if not more, opportunities in esports and video games, where it really challenges them to think beyond themselves and develop themselves individually, and also aspire toward certain careers or future plans. And we truly are a community working together. There is no core NASEF office necessarily. We are really a collaborative organization, and beyond just the organizations that you see in front of you, we really collaborate with the communities directly as much as possible. So whether it's through the clubs directly or through our affiliate programs, we really look to amplify what great things folks are doing and also support those who are just getting started, so that they can also, start to achieve some of the great things for their students that are already happening across clubs across the world. And so today for our office hours, we're going to be focusing on NASEF resources. So this is likely things that you may not be aware of, where we disseminate information, share activities and whatnot. So I'll be going through those. And then at the end, we do have a quick Q&A portion. So feel free to use the chat at any point or hold your question to the end, and then we may get to them. So I'll be going over the club dashboard. If you already are an active club, you may have seen this before, but if you are still looking to sign up, this will be kind of the first thing that you see once you do complete that initial sign up page. I'll also be going over code of conduct as a great resource for our clubs, and then where to stay connected, not only with NASEF, but with the rest of the community. So for those of you that are current clubs, we did just launch renewal for the 2020-2021 academic year. So we don't assume that everyone is going to be able to stay in the same way with NASEF. So this is your opportunity to let us know if you are planning to continue a club on that organization site. But also it gives you an opportunity to change or add general managers, change contact information. So all clubs are required to do this. So even if you've been with us for 3 years, or if you signed up 2 weeks ago, you will need to complete this process. Those who activated in the summer, you may be grandfathered in, but for the most part, I believe we have everyone re-signing up. And so once you go onto your club dashboard, this is the first thing that you will see after you see this top window. So this top window will only be shown until you complete that step. And then when you hop into the club dashboard and you scroll below that, you will be able to access all of these. So under the Grow section, we have our club portal. Now, if you go on our website, we do have a list of all of our clubs in North America. And each club has their individual page where they can connect their social media, they can identify their general managers. And so it's really meant to be a landing page so people know this is an official NASEF club. But because you are able to integrate your social media into it, your tweets can be shared onto it. And so you still get your customization as a club to make it look how you want. And for these, you can create student passwords. Now, the student passwords will give students the same access that you're seeing in front of your screen right now, with the exception of the game column. The game and tournament management sections are only able to be managed by general managers and not students. So just keep that in mind. If you do want to have students editing your club page, syncing the tweets to it and everything like that, you can set up those passwords, or if you want them to access the resources under the Learn section. So under the Learn section, that is where we keep our activities, some of our videos on demand that we just want to have only for our NASEF clubs and not publicly. NASEF, for the most part, shares a lot of information just for anyone to be able to access without logging in, because it's a lot easier for folks to do that without having to worry about another password. But there are some activities and resources that we have put together that have been really curated, and we want to keep it within our community as kind of an exclusive toward them. So if I go to the next slide. Oh, that's not correct, but it's okay. So these are some of the toolkits that you'll see under that Learn section. Now, this ranges with everything from just an overview about it to specific activities that we have created with the Connected Learning Lab from the University of California, Irvine, where they were workshops that we hosted for a Saturday Academy series, and we have compartmentalized them into individual activities so that you all can host similar workshops or academies for your students. And so what that looks like when you access the Toolkits page in the club dashboard is you'll see different headers. So for example, one of the content areas is making a team video. And so not only do we have activities, which is an actual lesson plan on how to run, a video workshop or activity for your students, but then we also have samples, we have additional resources from online sources that we've curated that we think are really helpful for getting folks started. PC building is another great example. And with that activity, it actually, you can actually build the PC, but also it's a great activity just without the building component if you want to talk about how they designed their PC to begin with. How do you build your budget around that and decide, oh, I'm going to spend this much on this part. So that way, as things settle, as students become more secure in their interests, maybe they'll go back to that activity where you all did work through a budget of a PC building activity, and they actually use that in informing their decisions on, even if it's 1 year, 2 years from now, you still gave them the skills and the tools beforehand to be able to start those conversations within themselves. And another featured toolkit I want to share, which is actually, you don't need to log in to access this. So if you have a community of teachers or other folks that are looking to get their students who are interested in video games and esports into a community, we've created a virtual hybrid club toolkit. Now we understand that most schools will not be returning to the fall. And so when you think about extracurricular activities, how are students maintaining their relationships with each other? How are they staying engaged? How are they doing things outside of the school time in order to also help develop their social emotional learning as well? So on our website, which I have the link included as well, you'll be able to access the different recommendations that we've made, different outlines, so that you can kind of take it from there and make adjustments based on your community. And this is another example of something that we've started, and from here it's great where clubs can take this and move it further to what makes sense for their students. So the bare minimum for all participants of NASEF, now this includes teachers, myself is included, Kevin is included, students are all included under this. This is the code of conduct that we have agreed to. Now this is the student language friendly version. We do have an official version on our website that really outlines it kind of more academically, I guess we can say. So we do have that resource available for you all on the Code of Conduct page, but this is kind of a great way to start conversations with students at the beginning of the year to say, hey, we have an esports club. Hey, we have a video game club. If you all want us to keep going with this, these are the rules that we kind of have to abide by, but also give them the opportunity to add and speak up and give commentary on the Code of Conduct. You know, what's missing from here for our community? What are we really serious about? And give them the autonomy to take something that has already been started, which is a lot of what NASEF does. A lot of taking advantage of NASEF resources is taking what we've gotten started and having your students, your parents, your teachers be inspired by that starting point and taking it so much further than probably NASEF would ever be able to, because really the students, the teachers, you all are the heart of these things coming to life. And so another starting point that we've given all of our clubs in the club dashboard is the club charter. Now, club charters are required by a lot of high schools and organizations for clubs if they want to create that ASB account where they can fundraise and do things like that. So we've designed it to, for sure, meet the criteria that most schools look for in those. They're looking for meeting times, they're looking for cabinets, goals, statements of purpose. But then also as a club, you can also take a look at the draft that we've started and say, hey, we want to add this in here. You know, we don't want a club president. We want a club grandmaster or something along those lines. Clubs have full autonomy to be creative and take advantage of the starting points and really just doing whatever they want with it. We just want to kind of give the guidelines and the support to say, hey, this will get you started, and then they can make their decisions and really just feel like the club that they've created isn't a cookie cutter club, it's their club. So yeah, club charters are very important. Next, I want to talk about staying connected. And this is something that we do also talk about in our hybrid toolkit. Now, NASEF does have a handful of Discord servers. We have a community Discord server for the students. We have the educator Discord server that is locked for basically the adults in the NASEF community. And then we also have a compete server, which is, you know, if you are in the official tournaments, instead of sending our tournament communications to everyone in the community, we just send them to the tournament participants. With that being said, not every school, not every community will want to use Discord. So when I say that Discord is a resource for you all, I also mean it just individually. If you want to connect with other teachers, if you want to pose questions or even just learn and see what other folks are doing, this is a great way, this is a great network to tap into. This is required for, so you are required to be a fully active GM before you can receive access to the invitation. So if you are still pending and you haven't gone through that renewal process, just know that if you reach out and you're asking to be invited, that's where we would look to make sure that you've been confirmed. But for your clubs, Discord is not a one size fit all for everyone. There's some communities that enjoy it, use it for their high school students, but then there are other high schools and clubs that will use Google Classroom, GroupMe. So really, when we share Discord, Discord's a resource, but don't think that you have to subscribe to Discord in order to succeed. But it is a really great tool, and it's something that we do use quite often. But if you don't use Discord, that's okay, because NASEF has every social media that you can probably imagine, but at least the core four. So on Twitter, it's really easy to get in contact with us on there. So if you are looking to get constant updates on what's new with NASEF, you really could end your workday just checking the NASEF Twitter, because we really do, our marketing team does a fantastic job of pushing out all of the events, deadlines as well. So not just announcing, you know, that we ran our tournament, but also informing you all when coaching deadlines are coming up, when tournament deadlines are coming up. Our Minecraft work as well, you know, there are certain deadlines that come up where you have to register your Minecraft design team. And so Twitter is one of the best places that we, that I would encourage folks to visit if they are looking for, you know, oh, I've been missing for a week, or I've been, you know, so busy and I want to catch up. This is a really great starting point. Facebook pretty much has a lot of basically the same thing as Twitter. I do think Twitter gets updated more frequently just because in the feeds, you'll see it more often versus Facebook. There are some blocks that they will implement where they will limit the amount of posts that you can see sometimes. Instagram is really great for students. So if any of your students are looking to get direct updates or, team captains or anything like that, Instagram is definitely the place that I would recommend. And then lastly, I want to bring up our Twitch channel, not only as a way of staying connected, because that's where we do any announcements, any live announcements we either do on Facebook Live or on Twitch. But then also we do give opportunities for people to engage with our Twitch stream directly, whether you are co-streaming with us, whether you're joining just to play in from your phone. So if you are looking to also stay connected in a more social way and just meet other similar educators in this space, tune into our Twitch streams, and there's always a handful of GMs either joining us directly on the stream or even in the chat tuning in. So those are definitely my recommendations, especially if Discord, if you are unfamiliar with Discord or it's not the right fit for you personally, these are the places that I would say to also check out in addition to our website. So that's the overview of where to kind of find the NASEF resources and some things that you may not be aware of, but oftentimes with resources, you need the questions before you can have the resource. So I want to open it up to you all on any questions that you may have for Kevin or myself.
Let me just prompt for one, Sam. There's been some discussion going on in the chat about, so we live in this virtual reality, COVID's supposed to force us all to hunker down. We're getting back into schools. We hear that esports can be the linkage that can bring kids together and give them a sense of community. You mentioned the hybrid, the virtual hybrid kit that we've got that's just out fresh last week. What else can we be doing? What can NASEF in particular, how can we help these schools and affiliates to bridge that gap, that lacking sense of community?
I mean, community building can be really difficult when it's just you. It really is a snowball effect. So first, if someone's truly just getting started on how do I create a hybrid club, part of it is knowing who your allies are. So luckily with the NASEF registration process, you can get that principal or site administrator buy-in. So that is one anxiety that I think a lot of GMs worry about. And when they get that site administrator buy-in, that is one checkbox through the marathon. Next, it's your colleagues. So not just IT coordinators, which I think is the first thing folks think of, but what other teachers on campus have knowledge, even if it's in games that the students have yet to discover the students have an interest in. Oftentimes when students find out that their teacher games, there is a connection that they can make. Even if they haven't played that specific game, they know it, maybe their parent has played it or something along those lines. So knowing who your allies are in a community, I think is really important, and who you can collaborate with, because I think some of the most interesting things come from the collaborative groups that are really working together to be like, oh, what if we did this? Oh, what if we did that? And then from there, it's how you're getting connected with your students. So as a GM, what boundaries do you need to set in place for yourself that make you feel comfortable? For our coaching staff, for example, they're near peer mentors to the students, but they don't respond to any team or coaching message after a certain time in the day. And those are boundaries that they have in place, because with COVID, it is kind of difficult to separate that boundary of work time versus not work time. And so when you're building your communities, also keep that in mind for you as an educator, that the students might be on at 10 p.m. On Discord, but that doesn't mean that you have made yourself that accessible to them that they can expect a response from you. But meeting the students where they are, I think, is really great. So if they are on Discord and that's something that you're open to using, and your club and your school are allowing it, then meeting them where they are, but then also reinforcing the need of code of conduct in whatever the online space that you pick. So if you go with Google Classroom because that's most comfortable, the code of conduct should still be reinforced in the same ways that it would be reinforced in Discord. So I hope that kind of covers where folks can get started. And what's really nice about Twitter specifically is that there is a sub-community of esports enthusiasts in the education space specifically. So if you ever want to connect with other people too on how, if you're having troubles building your community, using the hashtag esportsedu is a really great way to get tapped into that network.
I'll invite any of you just to open your microphone, introduce who you are, where you're from, and go ahead with your question.
I'm Sean Stern, and I teach in Awaka, Washington, which is the most southwestern corner of Washington State. It's not really related to your content. It's awesome. I'm really happy with your organization. Looks like we're going to be starting a Washington State subchapter, which I'm very excited because I did a lot of research this summer and I liked your organization. So when I found out someone else in my state agreed with my choice. Anyways, administrator approval. My administrator is not very tech savvy, and he hasn't been able to open the link to do so.
Okay.
And then really my other thing is, who do you need? Because I'm the CT director for the district. So this is my program. Can I approve myself? My wife is the superintendent. She just walked in the door. Can she approve it?
So for
Entirely
your
efficient.
so for your site admin approval, it'll have to be, so for your club, is it with a specific high school?
Yeah.
Okay, so the site administrator of that high school will have to figure out where the the link, where the error is going in there for them to approve that. And then for yourself, so if you are the general manager, but then you're also the tech contact, you should be able to list both of them as the same. There are a good number of tech coordinators, consultants, et cetera, that are actually the GMs of their club. So you should be able to list the same email for both.
Okay.
For the
We'll have a different tech coordinator, but we're definitely looking at this as a way to channel kids into STEM programs via CTE. So, okay. So that brings another point. Your website, I constantly get unsecure site messages, and that might be why my principal is having an issue opening that link. I have to go in Chrome in unsafe mode to view your guys' website.
Okay, that's interesting.
I wonder, just technically speaking, if this is a district level thing where we're not meeting on the inbound when you're trying to ping us, something in the district web filter is saying, nope, that's not a good site for whatever reason. Might have to whitelist us.
I use my home computer. I can't remember if I got in with Safari or not. I don't get in with Microsoft Edge, so I definitely tried multiple web browsers. And it might have been my home machine on Safari did work, and that's how I was able to get things in there.
And yes, our tech department can whitelist things.
Okay, thank you. I love
nice to have the superintendent over your shoulder.
Always.
But thank you for that. I'll let our website and marketing team both know.
Yes,
because
taking notes.
Website security is really important.
I'd say next to just getting it out and meeting you all, that is our big important push is website security, student data privacy. Absolutely. We can get over it. Make it work.
But that's great to hear about Washington. Jason Dilly, I can never say I have favorite general managers, but he does have a special place in my heart of, if he asked me anything, I would probably do it. So I know he's leading some of the stuff up in Washington, and I'm really happy for you all because Washington's a really great state too. Not that they all aren't, but I enjoy it there. So are there any other,
Wendy, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, sorry, I set my alerts and I missed like the first 15 minutes of your presentation, but I'll go back and catch it. I have a calendar date with you, Kevin, to talk more. So, I'm just happy to be in on the conversation. I feel really excited about getting things going in Louisiana, and similarly, I'm not, as you mentioned with other people, I'm in leadership, but I'm not a quote unquote gamer. But
yet.
Yes. Oh my God, I don't have time.
Right.
I wish I had time, but I'm working with our department head for computer science and we have a lot of college students. We have an esports college club on our campus, and I'm working with the state, which I'll get your connections when I talk with you more, who your contact is. But we'd like to get more going and in Louisiana. And right now, I missed the 50-50 virtual hybrid
Webinar?
yeah, I just realized my camera's not on.
It's okay.
I
Talk
missed
to you about it tomorrow. We'll get that.
Yeah, but like right now we're a community club
Mhm.
with statewide reach. But we want to have competitions. We want to have
Mhm.
a lot more going on. So that's all. I don't really have anything, really any questions or anything like that at the moment, but just saying that we're here, and it's great to listen to the conversation and hear what's going on with y'all in Washington State. And where Sean is at. We got
Sean, she's scouting you. She's already looking at background, looking to go at you. So
Sean. Whatever.
I'm
state-
Washington State.
Okay, Sean, you're Sean, you're in Washington. Okay, so Chris and Nathan, I don't know where y'all are, but it's good to see the connections across the states.
Chris is with me here in Southern California. He's Moreno Valley.
Okay.
Yes, my name is Christopher Acosta. Nice to meet everybody. I'm an educator from Moreno Valley. We actually had Kevin Brown come over last year and do a presentation for us because we were trying to start this off as a district. I got a bunch of students together. I got all the names together, and I submitted it the week that we shut down for quarantine. So, of course, the district put everything on hold. We had a $3,000 PO with Nintendo Switches and controllers, and all of that was frozen at that time. And we started on Wednesday of last week with distance learning. And we are currently exploring our options on starting this up again. I am not sure where the district is on budget as far as purchasing the items that we need. I know there's student interest because I specifically targeted 6th and 7th graders last year because I teach at a middle school because I knew they'd be back this year. But we're trying to figure out how do we control it? Because of course they're not physically going to be with us in a room where we can ensure that they stick to the code of conduct at all times. And I know that in some situations, for example, me, I game with a PlayStation 4 and, there's audio parties and you can create a party in the games. And so you have some more control over it, but I don't know if those things are necessarily available for but I also, we're also open because we have nothing right now. So if we have to go a particular direction to make this work, my principal is more than willing to here to gather information about that.
Yeah.
So I can kind of report back to him and hopefully move forward with those approvals.
Do your students have access to Chromebooks?
Yes, they all have district issued Chromebooks at home. There's some hiccups right now where kids are switching them out for functioning ones because of summertime, but the district has issued every student personal Chromebooks.
So what's the great news about Chromebooks is Minecraft education is actually available on there. So I don't know if your school already has the Microsoft license that gives students free Minecraft accounts. Some schools do have access to that. But that might be a great way if you still have, and I know that funds can be, really tight right now. So, but if there is a way for that original purchase order for Switches that you were planning, if there's still a way to modify that for Minecraft. What's nice about that is if anyone is playing Fall Guys right now, which is kind of an obstacle course race, I think it's a great game, and I would say like NASEF would approve it. The only reason I say that we can't approve it, not that we don't, but I wouldn't recommend it, is because it's expensive. It's $20 for a game where if you use that $20 for Minecraft, you could make an infinite amount of similar maps, if not better, plus doing all the things that you can with Minecraft. It has that versatility. Fall Guys really has all the elements that students, and not even students, but people, who've grown up on games love, which is the creative mode. So anyone who's played Halo, anyone who's played Fortnite creative maps, Minecraft, you know, Hunger Games servers and whatnot, that's really what Fall Guys is. And so for students, if they have access to Chromebooks, you know, even being able to contextualize saying, hey, maybe we all can't play Fall Guys, but we all have access to Minecraft on our Chromebooks. Not only can you download maps through Minecraft Education, but if, you know, one student made a map, all the students can join in on that server. And I don't think there's voice or anything, but if you wanted to use Google Classroom or something else for the voice portion, or even like Zoom, for example, and then have them in the server, that could be a really great way to keep them engaged. And then you know, it's not, Minecraft is like on the edge of esports in the sense of it's not a traditional esport title the way we think about it. But it has all the elements that you see in esports. It has competition. It has the same movements. You know, you're still using similar keys to move in Minecraft that you use in Fortnite. It's literally the same keys. So that's my first reaction for you, Chris, on not knowing where to take it.
No, that sounds good because, you know, we want this. It's just we got to find the best path right now with distance learning. And, you know, for me, it's about getting them together. And I know that we can hammer out the code of conduct stuff with the students.
It'll work.
The district side that worries about the liability. Making sure we can control these lobbies if there's issues with the student, because I mean, for my principal, it's mainly the control of if a kid's not adhering to these standards, we need to have the ability to remove them from the
And on
Zoom is a great option. We have district license now. We bought the full license, and then it's really, for me, what game can I get a lobby and get them all in with the tools that they already have, so there's no discrepancy between who has which console. And now I didn't even think about the Chromebooks, so I'm already, you know, the wheels are turning.
yeah.
Got a note here, Chris. I'll reach out to you. We'll set up some time and I'll take you through what I did for Linwood Unified School District for summer, a whole 5-week summer camp, all based on Chromebook accessible stuff. So happy to walk you through it. It's been done and there's a way to control it. We thought about those issues. I'm looking at time just to keep us all honest. We're a little bit past, we're at the bottom of the hour. We do have one more session next week. Next week is all about tryouts and coaching for those who are considering the high school level competitions. We'll have both our coaching coordinator and our senior coach here to walk us through all of that next week, same time at 9 a.m. and at 12 a.m. Pacific, so noon and 3 p.m. Eastern, or wherever you all are in between those two. I do recommend you take advantage. Go to our NASEF events page, open up the calendar, click on that event and get the link. And we'd love to see you there at that. We are, of course, recording these sessions, so they will be available to you to listen to on our NASEF website. So if you missed any part, Wendy, not a problem. You're going to catch it all and you'll be able to listen to it again.